Welcome back to Hilltop Cottage. This is a whimsical little story about a girl in a pink tent. For years now, I've been really admiring the Business and Pleasure Co. tents, their beach supplies, and they are so far beyond my budget that I never thought I would actually buy one of these tents. I first heard about them about 4 or 5 years ago from a blogger I admire, Rosie the Londoner, and somehow serendipitously I found these on super sale and I had a coupon, so I ended up buying 2 for under the price of 1. I bought a yellow one that I used all summer long at the beach, and this was the first time setting up the pink tent. In this story, I'm going to share with you some beautiful adventures with the pink tent and a little bit about our garden for the end of summer. This one is a labor of love and waiting. I started with just a few strawberry plants and not much grew this summer, but it's starting to really fill into the space as I was hoping, the raised garden bed, so that they come back next year. And I do have some strawberries. They're beautiful wild strawberries, so they don't look like the ones in the store, but they smell super sweet. And I can't wait for this whole garden bed to really fill in. So I also just went around to all the tomato plants and I clipped the heads of the tomatoes because it's going to start getting colder at night and I don't want all the tomatoes that are growing to just freeze and die before they get to turn red. So by clipping the tops of the tomato plants, it prevents them from growing out and just focusing on the buds that are already here. So hopefully all these green little tomatoes will become red tomatoes before the first big frost and cold nights. And yeah, my garden got a little crazy. I've been weeding. I keep seeing more grass weeds that I need to pluck out of here. And I've had terrible luck with lettuce. It's bolted. I've never been able to get it to work right. But yeah, so as long as I ignore the lettuce and the minimal amount of strawberries, I would say it's a very successful garden this year. Ooh, and I got a cucumber growing in. It's a beauty. It is a beauty. I didn't even realize it was this big already. Oh, gorgeous. I'm so excited. Look at it. It was just sitting here on the side of the garden. Ah, that's amazing. Yes, another reason why I haven't really done too much with the garden beds is that a lot of my tomato plants grew over the sides. And because they grew over the sides, we couldn't weed whack around it because we didn't want to accidentally hack into the plants. So it got a little crazy in the walkway between the garden beds. But I would say this is my most successful tomato growing season ever. And getting better with the strawberries. The lettuce needs work. Cucumber better than last year. The squash, I guess we'll find out. I probably planted them a little too late, but who knows? I think maybe they're hardy and they'll grow through October, maybe even November. And that is my garden. So, and then the greenhouse. I have my herbs on the porch. I'm not using the inside of the greenhouse right now because I'm not sowing any seeds, but I am going to have to winterize it soon. And gosh, I have bag after bag. I had to buy more bags for the tomatoes to put in the freezer. So I have so many bags of frozen tomatoes for chilies and sauces all winter long. my goodness. So I followed this very stubborn vine, and look, I've got a squash. Let me get that snail off of it. Don't want it burrowing in. But yeah, I've got a stubborn squash that I'm hoping I could scooch back into the garden somehow. Look at all that new growth. And then all these. I came home one day to a really beautiful little surprise. Matthew mowed this little pathway behind the greenhouse through the little meadow in the yard, and it wraps all the way around, and it just looks beautiful, and I can't wait to see it in the spring when all the flowers will be blooming and the grass will be tall. At the very top, it connects to the little path Matthew made that leads to the road for my bike path and walking path, so I don't have to walk on the main road. And it loops around in a circle, so I could read and walk around the yard a la Jane Austen style, pretending that I'm Lizzie Bennet. The wildflowers that we planted in the spring were finally taking off, and they're so beautiful. Every day we would walk out and find more in bloom. It was finally time to set up the pink tent for the very first time. I bought myself this rubber mallet to make it so much easier to put the pipes into the ground, and I use it at the beach too. It was a great idea. I highly recommend getting one if you have a beach tent or have to use a mallet for stakes for camping. I almost didn't buy this tent. I knew that I was buying the yellow one for Matthew and I to use at the beach, and I really always loved this color pink, and I've been wanting a tent just like this for years, but I knew it was frivolous, and I was like, I don't need two. It just so happened that they went on super sale and this one was on clearance, and I also had an additional 20% off coupon on top of it, and so I decided to be a little frivolous and have joy and have fun, and I'm so glad that I did. I left the pipes in the ground so that I could reset up the tent anytime I wanted, and I set it up several times during the summertime. On days that I worked from home, I often came out here on my lunch break to read and to have lunch outside in nature while I still could. With my theme of the summer, I read L.M. Montgomery's Pat of Silver Bush. This is another book on my list. I've been trying to read all the children's classics that I missed out on as a kid, and I bought this one on our recent trip to Prince Edward Island. This felt simply magical to me. You remember those summer nights when you had no school and there was no responsibilities for the next day? You get to stay up late and you would camp or spend time outside at night playing games. This is what it felt like. It felt so magical, and it was nice to feel that way again. I hadn't felt that lighthearted in a long time. I am keeping with tradition and eating outside more often for summertime. Summer is still here, but fall is going to be here within just a couple weeks. It was actually very cold and chilly this morning, and now it's hot and muggy this afternoon. I set up the tent again. I've been keeping the stakes and posts in the ground, so all I have to do is set it up really quick. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm sad summer's coming to an end, and it looks like maybe soon my work from home days are also going to come to an end, which I'm a little worried about, because I think I do get more done when I work from home, and I get really stressed in the office environment we have, because the office is so tiny and cramped, and everybody's crammed into two rooms, two very small rooms in an old 1800s house on the upper floor of an old 1800s house. And so it's just not a very good get things done environment. Internet's slow. I just get more done when I work from home. I know a lot of people say that, but for me it's really true. And yeah, I kind of need, as an introvert, the quiet and the peace, especially on my breaks. Being home on lunch has been so essential, so I'm making the most of it while I have it.